Greetings everybody, this is Winnie Wriggle and welcome back to our Direwolf20 1.19 Modpack Let's Play. Today, we need to make some progression. Let me show you. This is our beautiful workshop. I'm still using vanilla furnaces to cook things. We don't have anything automated. Our storage is in barrels. Granted, they're big giant barrels, but it's barrels. We do have some things in storage drawers, but I need some auto crafting, please. So in today's episode, I want to transform this part of our base into an RFTools storage system. And here are the things we're going to need in order to do that. If we take a look at our project box, I have all the pieces we need to get started with this. Namely, for the RFTools storage, we need one storage scanner and then as many modular storages as we want to use. I made 5 because I want to show them to you. We're also going to use XNet to help us connect the RFTools storage to some of the functional storage that we already have set up. I already have a storage controller attached to these drawers, and I have cleared out a little space underneath the main base area in order to put all of our cabling and some of the components from XNet. We might even move some of the storage drawers down here. We'll see how industrious I get. RFTools storage, in a nutshell, consists of 2 things. One, a modular storage, which you can think of as a large customizable chest. This chest also have crafting capabilities. In order to turn it into storage, you need to add one of the tiered storage modules. I have made some tier 4 ones. They're a little bit pricey, but worth it. And one of the advantages is that the tier 4 will hold 500 stacks of items. And that can be any mixture of items. It's also important to note that the tier 1, 2, and even the 3 are very cheap. They just require a little bit of nether quartz, gold, iron, redstone dust, and a tier 1 will get you a storage chest with 100 stacks, a tier 2, 200, a tier 3 with 300. But we went all the way to 4, totally worth it. So in order to turn one of these modular storages into an actual chest, you need to put the storage module over in the lower left and then lock the module so that it becomes a storage entity. And then I can shift click any items into here. I can show them as a list. I can show them just as icons. I can sort them alphabetically, etc. I can also just shift click to get all my items out. In addition, as long as it's locked, you can pick these up and they still retain all of their items. So these are actually great early game storage options. I'm going to unlock that one. And now let's take a look at the other piece of RFTools storage, and that is a storage scanner. So I've set it down next to our barrels of items. I'm going to put a generator next to it because it just needs a little bit of power in order to operate. And you'll see that on the UI, there's a tooltip next to this button that says the radius that the scanner will use to find storages. So if I change this radius to 2, it can now see all of the barrels of items that are within its range. So if we go to JEI for the recipe for iron bars and say move items, you can see that those items appear in the crafting grid on the left, but when we try to craft one, it won't let us. In order to make storages accessible to this block, you have to say that they are routable by clicking the star next to them. Once you say something is routable, then it can access that storage to pull items for crafting, and there we have our iron bars. So that would be true for all of these barrels. If I want them all routable so that I can do crafting from them, then I would need to click all of the stars in order to make them accessible. That is also true if I were to set down modular storage chests next to our storage scanner. It would also be able to see, if we click that scanner button again, now it can see those 2 modular storages that I set down next to it. And we can make them routable and add items and pull items from them. To summarize, the modular storage units hold items, and you must put a storage module in them and lock it in order for them to turn into storage containers. The storage scanner scans in a radius around itself with a little bit of power and allows you to access all the items in those storages. If we incorporate this by using XNet, we'll be able to connect the storage drawer controller to our storage scanner. And in order for that to work, we'll want the XNet option. Once we have connected XNet to the back of these machines, then the storage scanner will show us everything connected to it via XNet, not necessarily in a radius around it. So we're actually going to use the XNet feature to set up our storage. And through the magic of video editing, we're going to turn our plebeian vanilla crafting area into... I am interrupting the magic of transformation on video to show you what I think is an important part of this process, which is how to easily move the items from that chest to these modular storage units. And to do that, I'm making use of the pipes mod, and specifically the item pipes, which are just a couple of droppers, redstone and iron. So we hook up the pipe to the two blocks we want to interact. So we want to move items from our bling chest into our new bling modular storage. To do that, I'm going to shift click on the end of the pipe that's in this source. And you can see that it is slowly moving items through the pipe. To speed that up, I've made an improved pipe upgrade. And that is taking a basic pipe upgrade, which is just some iron and redstone, and adding gold and redstone to it. And when I right click on the end of the pipe, it brings up a user interface, and I shift click it into there. And now you can see the tooltip on the upper left says we're transferring 16 items every 10 ticks. And now we can see the items moving through much faster as we take them out of our bling chest and put them in the modular storage. Bringing you back once more, because the more I think about this, the more I think, yes, we want to move all of our storage drawers downstairs. So I thought it would be important to show you how that works and then how we connect it up to our storage system. In order to make it easy, this is where the storage is going to be. I'm actually going to put our drawers over here. So we'll start with the storage controller because we're going to need to connect that to the rest of our system using XNet. I'm going to move my lights. The beautiful part about this is you can see what's in the drawers if you hover over them. That's nethery stuff. That's string and green things. There's some cactus and vines. You can go with the green things. And cobble, dripstone. And it looks like some more wood. That is surely not everything we're going to want to put in a storage drawer. So I'm actually going to add a couple of rows and hopefully these face the right direction. Yes. Excellent. And then I think what we want to do is fill these with things that are like mob drops. The things that we have in this chest up here, which are things that stack easily, like bones and string and gunpowder and ender pearls and blaze rods and all that stuff. So there are many things in these drawers that are going to lend themselves better to storage drawers than they would to just stick them in another big chest. So let me get a few things moved and then we'll set up and connect the XNet to our RFTools storage system. Well, I have most of the stuff moved. There still needs to be a little more organization, but I thought it was time to go ahead and set this up. So we're going to take the XNet pieces that we'll need. We'll need one controller, a few connectors, and then a bunch of network cable. Our controller can actually go anywhere, but for ease of use, I'm actually going to set it right underneath our storage scanner. Then we're going to take our connectors and put them on the back of every block that we want in our storage network. And so that is every block that's here. Just going to shift click a connector to it. And then we're going to go downstairs. The other block that we need to connect to is actually the drawer controller in our storage array here. Then we're going to use our cables to hook these two things together. I think if I jump a little, nope. There we go. So now our cables are connected to the connectors. The important step we want to do with our drawers here is to take a linking tool and shift right click the controller and then select every drawer that we want in this network. So now all of the drawers are linked to this controller. What that means is if I take some terracotta out of here and I go up to the drawer and put it in the drawer, it'll put it in the right space in the drawers. Now we also want to lock the drawers because I don't want to put stuff in the storage system and have it fill up the empty drawers with weird stuff. So if you shift click in the air, it changes the mode. So we want to go to the swapped mode to locking. When I right click the drawer controller, it locks all the drawers. So if I right click it again, you'll see those little locks disappear. Now they're locked. We can also change it to hide and show the amounts. If you don't want your computer to be unhappy with rendering those numbers, you can show or hide them. If you're curious about how much stuff you have, you can leave it. You can also turn off the item renders if it's slowing things down. So now we have connected the drawer controller to the rest of the blocks in our network, and we want to do two things. Well, we want to do three things. The first thing we want to do is take a nap. And it's another glorious morning in Minecraft. So this block is the XNet Controller. So the XNet Controller needs a little bit of power in order to operate. And we will connect it up to our main power. Right now I'm just going to stick a generator under it with some charcoal in it to give it some power so we can set up the network so that our storage system starts working. Okay, now that we have power in the XNet, we have to set up an XNet storage system. And the way you do that is you say for the first channel, we want to change the kind of network it is. And so we'll click this button until we see RFTools Storage because they're created by the same mod developer, MC Jetty, which is fantastic. And we want to create a storage network on this channel. And so we'll have to tell the storage network what each of these blocks represents. So the first one is our storage controller. That's connected to our drawers. We want to create and we want to call that an inventory. We have two options, an inventory or a storage. It's an inventory. The next item is a modular storage, modular storage, modular storage. We're looking for the storage scanner and there it is. So for the storage scanner, we also want to select it on the left in that channel and say create. And this time we're going to set this to storage because that is the storage system that we're using on this channel. The controller is not part of the network. That's the block that we're in right now. So we don't need to do anything to it. These other blocks that hold like our bling and our crafted items, each one of those we want to hit create and make sure it's set to inventory. And that should be by default. So we're adding them to the XNet network for storage. So now if we go to our storage scanner and we're going to set this to XNet over on the left, I'm going to click the button to refresh it. Now you can see that our storage controller for those drawers is visible because we've connected it with XNet. And if I make it routable, now we can see all of the items in those drawers. So if I say all routable, here we now have our entire storage network easily accessible via the RFTools Storage. We can craft from here. For example, I've gone ahead and made two more tier 4 storage modules. I need the modular storages to go with them. So I'm going to make a couple more modular storage. We'll make, oh, I don't have any blue dye. Hold please. See, there's still some sorting that needs to happen. There's our blue dye. Do I have an organics spot? Yeah, I do. We're going to put organics in there. There, have some blue dye. So we need 2 machine frames. So now I have 2 more modular storages that I can add to our network. We're putting the storage module in them and locking them so that they are active. I will also take my XNet connector and add a connector to the back of both of those. And then we'll go back into our XNet controller, which is the bottom one. And you can see that those 2 modular storages are now here. We want to make sure they're set to inventory. And the only block that shouldn't be demarcated on this list is the controller. So now if I refresh my XNet storage network, those 2 new modular storage units show up. One important thing to note about this, if you want to prioritize a particular storage, either container or the drawers, you're going to need to move that item up this list. And the way you do it is over on the left where it says move inventory up. I always want this storage system to prioritize the drawers first. So if there is space or an item in the drawer that matches what I'm trying to put it away, I want it to go in the drawer. So for example, if I have a bunch of sticks and I walk up here and I shift click, it should go back into the drawers first before it randomly gets sent to these chests. And you can do the same thing with the chests. For example, if I only want things like this, now they have to be an exact match, I can set a filter on this modular storage and say only allow things in this modular storage that are an exact match. So every time I put some rails in, rails will go in this modular storage if it's a match. So we can make a filter, and that's just a hopper, some iron ingots, redstone, and paper. Do we have all that? We do! Oh my god, so excited. Okay, so if we go to crafted and I say, okay, now this is the cool thing about crafted. I think if I shift right click onto that container, you'll see I get a notice in the left that said stored inventory contents in filter. Now, the filter has a picture of everything in that drawer. If I put that filter in here, we have to unlock it, add the filter, and then lock it. Now this modular storage will only accept items that match. So that is a super simple setup for the RFTools storage system. There are also a couple of really great things you can do with the system, which is part of the reason that I chose it. Let me show you. So my second favorite thing about this system, other than the fact that it's pretty easy to set up and use and is amazing early game because it's not that expensive, is that it has these magic things called a tablet and a storage control screen module. So if I make a tablet, which is blocks of redstone, blocks of quartz, gold nuggets, and emerald, I think we have all that. What do I need? I need a block of quartz. Hey, guess what? We can make a block of quartz. So I need that block of quartz. And then I'll clear this search. We'll make our tablet. There's a tablet. Now we want to make our storage control screen module, which is 2 crafting tables, redstone, and iron. Do we have those? We do. So now we have a storage control screen module and a tablet. I accidentally put it in the storage system. Okay, so if we take our tablet and shift right click on air, you can see there's some empty slots. And we could put a storage control screen module in the tablet. And it says in the tooltip, this screen module allows you to monitor items through a storage scanner. So we want to sneak right click on the storage scanner that we're using. So if we sneak right click on the middle block, it says storage module set to storage scanner. And then we go to our tablet, sneak right click on the air, put the storage control screen module in the tablet. Now, if I right click the tablet, that is my storage system. I'm out here working. I forgot some copper. Right click. Oh, look, I can go get my copper out of my storage system. It's amazing. And this works across dimensions. Anywhere in the world, nether, end, whatever, you always have access to your storage system. The tablet function is my favorite thing. Now I want to connect this. I mean, this generator is all well and good for setting up the system, but we need to connect this to power because it does need power and we have a reliable power source. But I think it'll make it easier on us if we set up another battery. And I think we're using the Elite Energy Cube from Mechanism. So let's see if we can make just any energy cube would really be fine. So if we make a basic one, I don't know if I have all these parts. No. We're going to need energy tablets and steel casing. Not a problem. There's our steel casing. 1 energy tablet. 1, 2, and boom. A basic energy cube from Mechanism. You know what? Can we make an advanced? I think I need 2 more of these. 1, 2. I mean, if you're going to store power, store power. There we go. We might even have, do I have enough for the elite? Do we have any reinforced alloy? And look, I can search my storage system and see that I do indeed have reinforced alloy. So we're going to make another elite energy cube. We need 2 more tablets and an elite energy cube, so now we can store another 25 million RF from our water wheel. I'm a firm believer in slow and steady power accumulation in modded Minecraft. You wouldn't believe how much power you can store passively over many, many weeks. Okay, we're probably also going to need a little bit of power cable, which I believe I have, along with a wrench, because we'll need to initially hook up this Elite Energy Cube to our current power system in order to get power into it. So I think what we want to do, make sure I set it down so that I'm facing the face that I want to interact with. I want to add it to the existing power. Okay, it's got an input on the top. Let's look at the configuration. Yep. Input, output is on the front. I want to change that to the bottom because we're actually going to take power out from underneath. And I'm going to run this around the room real quick. Just going to sneak it over here where the existing lines are so we can connect it up. We're going to want to put a connector from XNet on the bottom because the bottom is where I set it to output power. Then we're going to run XNet cable in some fine Direwire style. Okay, let me make this a straight line so I know that'll make some of y'all crazy, including me. Okay, then we're gonna run some cable down here under the floor where we won't have to look at it. And it's gonna connect up with our XNet system. It doesn't matter where the things are in XNet. I could put this 100 blocks away if I wanted. I could put it on the ceiling. As long as everything is connected by the XNet cables, we can make this do whatever we need. In order to add the power to this network, we have to go back to the XNet controller. So we'll come back upstairs to our lower middle block, and we want to add a new channel. And this one is going to be energy. So we want XNet energy and say create. And we're on channel 2, and we can call this power. You can name your channels. I should probably name the first one storage so we don't lose track. Okay, second one is energy. What we want to do is from the Elite Energy Cube, I'm going to select that. I want to create a connection, but I want to extract power from this energy cube, and you can see we get an E. Now, the only thing that needs power, we need two things. The scanner needs power, so we're going to select it, hit create, and make sure it says insert. And then this block needs power, so the controller. We're going to select it in that second channel and say create, and make sure it says insert. Now, it's getting power. Both of them should be getting power from XNet, not from our little generator here. So let me get rid of this, and everything is just staying fully powered. That's phenomenal. We should also see that our energy cube continues to fill up with power from the other one and from our network. So this is a great way for us to store another big chunk of power. Now let's cover up our mess. No one will ever know we were here, except for the hole in the floor where the XNet cable goes down, but that's fine. So now we have connected an array of functional storage drawers. We have connected power. We have connected a storage scanner from the RFTools Storage, and we have made a tablet so that we can access our storage from anywhere. I want to be sure I make those other two storage blocks that we added routable, so I make sure to click those and say we are on XNet and click the button. Everything connected to our XNet storage system is visible, and I actually have this sorted by amount in descending order. You can sort it by mod, you can sort it by name or tag. I like it by amount because that lets me know how much stuff we have in here. We have a lot of stuff. That also means we now have the ability to craft without me having to go to every single barrel in the base in order to get all the items I need. This is going to make life so much easier from this point forward. And yes, eventually we will probably upgrade this to a refined storage system so we can take advantage of the crafting with that. But I think this serves us very well in the interim. And I feel like we finally entered the digital age here in the Direwolf pack. So I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like. It helps me out and I appreciate it. In the meantime, remember, you are the shiny stuff that awesome is made of. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.